Hola amigos de Enbanners, estamos aquí con la talentosísima Jehnny Beth. Hello Jehnny, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. A little bit nervous because I'm here with you,
Okay.
but it's a pleasure. Thanks for taking the time for this interview. And well, you already performed at Corona Capital and also Corona Capital sessions
Yeah.
alongside with Foo Fighters and Friends of the Stone Age. And I wanted to ask you first, how was that experience? How was the performance?
You were great.
Yeah. What? There are anything that was remarkable that you could say it was different from your previous presentation in your Corona Capital?
Yeah, I mean, well, what happened was for the show in Mexico City, we were called a few hours before the show to change the stage. So we were supposed to play a small stage and then we were asked to play the big stage. And also 2 hours before the time that we were initially booked for. So it was a massive rush because my team is a very small team, like there's only 6 of us. And we had to move all the video, we had no sound check, we had to do it. So like 5 minutes before the show, things were still not working. It was very chaotic and very stressful, but in the end we made it work. And when I stepped on stage, I felt like the stress is over now. It's time for just enjoy, you know? And so we went on, and it was more than a show. It was very special. Something happened. I don't know what.
Maybe adrenaline was like...
No, but like between the audience and us.
Oh, and then what?
Something happened.
Strong reaction?
Yeah. Like, I know that Mexico crowds are great, and I've played here several times, and I experienced really amazing shows, but that was not of them. So.
I was checking your solo material, your works, and I noticed that from my point of view, the thing that you are doing is heavier than your previous work. Why did you decide to explore this kind of music?
Even when I was in Savages, my previous band, which was quite post-punk, I really wanted to try to push the band towards hardcore, even the shows. That's why I used to always go into the crowd as well and try to create like mosh pits and, you know. But the bands wouldn't go that direction. I stopped working with them in 2017 or something. And then I did the one solo record, Too Love Is To Live, that came out in 2020. And that was a different sort of idea for it. It was more like, I was very inspired by Black Star of, you know, Bowie. And I wanted to collaborate with a lot of people, so there's a lot of people on her record, different producers, different singers, different songwriters, all my friends, but and so it was a different sort of work. But maybe I did some work with Atticus Ross from Many Engineers in that one, and it was kind of wanting to create it so in journeying, you know, so it's got orchestral and dreamy, so it's still heavy. I mean, I'm the Man or How Could You, or songs that are quite heavy in that record anyway. But I was on tour with Queens of the Stone Age in America probably 2 years ago, and I had a really strange experience on stage with the crowd where I felt like I was coming back in my body because the crowd was so incredible and the communication was so easy, and it just woke me up, and I realized I had been asleep for many years, and I didn't want to go back to sleep again. I fell suddenly back to the present, back in my shoes, like back who I am. And so I said to John Costa, who's narrated for 20 years now, I want to make a record that is one vision, that is direct, that has, you know, no detours, and is straight to the point, exciting and hardcore. I mean, and I wanted to learn how to scream better, and it's just, I hear all this music already, but it's just, I felt I was ready to do it, you know.
Probably, were there any specific bands or
Yeah.
I mean, singers that influence you
Yeah.
to do this? Like, well, I heard, from my point of view, I heard like some influences of like the new metal genre, but also
Yeah.
your singing style, like my pattern.
Yeah. So new metal for sure. I saw Korn again live like 2 years ago, and I thought they were incredible. Lately, Jonathan Davis' voice, I think, and ideas are really great, very inspiring. My pattern is a singer I listen to all the time before I do vocal text in the studio, because he has such a mix of technique and feel, and I don't know any other singer that has that to the level he is. Like, so it's like boss level, or anything. Yeah, it can go to melody, opera, to fly, streaming, and so he can really do everything. So I find myself a lot of Faith No More, I do dust probably. One of the bands we listen to a lot in the studio with Jermaine Simon is Quicksand. So it's a band in the hardcore early 90s. And their first record, Sleep, is such an influential record even for Deftones after when he wrote the hardcore, mixed it with English shoegaze, and that was the birth of that genre. So Quicksand, Slate, and even the last record, Distant Populations, is probably the perfect record. Recorded with the same engineer who recorded their era by style actually, and that record sounds really incredible. And we actually covered a version by Quicksand with that.
And well, you always call a video carpenter you.
Yeah.
I think that the record is amazing, and the title, I feel like it's aggressive. What is the meaning of you have record?
I think it's you're right. It's tender, but it's also disappointment. I think that love is mixed with violence and contradictory feelings. I don't think love comes just as it's a sweet word. Yeah. Yeah, I think he just talks about the idea that people you love will be breaking your heart eventually, and mainly every day even, and that love comes with pain. And actually, as you grow older, I think you realize that a broken heart can be mended, and that's a matter of living. Every day the world breaks my heart, every day people know a forex man break my heart, but you can't control the world, you can't control people, you can't tell them what to do, you can't have control over this. So the result is you feeling this pain that I think is you have. I realize that I try to embrace that on him, and it's part of living and grieving with a broken word.
And also, you're talented. Besides being a singer, you're also an actress and a TV presenter.
Yeah.
How do you manage to do all of that?
I don't. I don't know. I managed. I'd say after I released my first solo record to the studio in 2020, I started acting more at that time. I think it's because I was so heartbroken. Because my record was released during the pandemic, and all my touring got cancelled, and I couldn't play for like a year and a half, and I got really in big debt. Because all the investments had been done, and confinement happened, so it really put me in trouble. And it took me years to build back the business again, but also mentally to be able to find the strength and the belief in myself to be able to do it again. So I think it was a good distraction in a way, because it was working with interesting people. It was still creative, because I think it's a creative, process. And it's collaborating, so it's not all on my shoulder. It's for the character, you have so many people thinking about the character with you, so you're not on your own. And I felt it was a great moment to do it, and I still do it. Like I just finished the movie in Brazil, I tried it this summer. I did another movie in France in the fall, or in the spring. So I'm doing like interesting acting projects, and I felt it's yeah, it's a great learning experience. I'm too curious to say no, personally. It's like when a great director calls me like, and says, oh, we're going to review to part, and I love their work. It's, I don't know, my curiosity, it's like that. It's like when you're a kid and your friend calls you and says, you play. It's like, yeah, we play, you know, do my work. Yeah. I think art and artists have a real responsibility in the world, and they have a place, and they fight against fascism, against, you know, helping people not to become sheep, you know, not to become followers. I think art is great, and counterculture is really important for that. So to create communities, to make you feel less alone, but also to make you think differently. To look at things from the side, you know. Instead, you're just looking at things from the same point of view as everybody else. That's very bad for culture. It's very bad for societies. For, you know, yeah, it's dangerous even, I think.
And well, you have worked with many artists, like you mentioned already. What do they need to have? What do the artists need to have in order to you for like, well, I want to collaborate with them?
I think a point of view, a strong point of view, integrity in what they're doing in terms of they really mean it. They have something to say, and they do it with pride.
Yeah. And this is a very tricky question.
Yeah.
So, if you were able to assemble a supergroup or a super one,
That's how it's
yourself included,
good.
who would you choose as members of you?
Oh my God, it's so hard. Alive?
Let's talk in a hypothetical world.
So dead and as it must have been. Like you've just okay.
I'm meditating.
Yeah,
At least I spoke up like that on this.
I remind you as an underling singer, so you can't come in. Or we do like double MC, you know. Yeah, and they like that something that makes you. They used to have haircut, so which that was him. I never felt that. The same haircut, like sit back hair with a few coming down.
That would be a really interesting project.
I'm
betting on it. Yeah.
I love it. I would probably have Ken Gordon on the bass. I don't want to put out guitar, but Ken Gordon on the bass, like in Sleep, I suppose. We could have on guitar. Oh God, this is terrible. I'm not doing this kind of guitar. This is in my band. It's a bit preferred. I'm not a guitarist, so come on. And another drum. Oh God, I want to know those. Because they're amazing. On the drums, I probably. Oh God, this. Just because I love her, it's just my dear friends that I must get. Well, that's just like she used to be walking, and now she's playing with Courtney Barnett. Very different style of music. I'm sure she can play anything, so I would have her for sure. She's such a cool person and great laughs and incredible drama. Double trucks, I know. She doesn't give a shit. I'm into him. I love it.
She's a roll.
Hola, linda. I'm dressed so well. Gracias.
This is hard.
He goes home.
I'm not in a hurry. So fast.
I didn't go for this trip.
No, exactly.
I know. It's a chicken time. What you say?
So it doesn't know. Okay.
But please continue. We're almost there. Yeah.
Sorry, it was annoyance. So it looks at what you're saying.
It's all that she wants to start.
Yes, I don't know. Yeah, she said to be.
Okay, and what else? I was like listening to You Have Radio Year. Starting now is my favorite song.
Really? Okay, right.
It's a favorite topic. Is there any particular story telling on the track or the album in general?
It's something now. It's interesting. I'm glad you like this one. It took me a while to find the vocal on that, but not because I had the ideas. But it's every time I recorded, Johnny would come to listen to what I've done, and he was like, "Don't believe it." And it's like, "What? Really? Just spent 2 hours on that? I'm embarrassed." And then it's like, "Nah, don't believe it. You don't let it." You know, and it was kind of always like that. It's like he really pushed me to vocally to. He wouldn't like every tea-time mattered, and he was like, if I don't believe when I hear you, I don't want to keep it. Like, and it's very sometimes so subtle, and it's I mean sometimes he was always right. As some things like I remember doing the chorus like and every time I did it, it just felt not right. And then at some point when you nail it, when I'd done it once and the version with cats, it was like, oh, you got it. And it's kind of hard to explain why. You have to trust your heart.
Does the process become kind of frustrating?
I try not to. I try not to. I think it's if it becomes frustrating, it means you have to stop, like take a break. And also you don't have to work for hours. You can work for like an hour or two a day. And then you're back to it with fresh ears. Like I think you need to sometimes less is more. Yeah. Instead of like going into frustration with the music, that's not good for the music. You know, you need to be really enjoyed it.
Okay, and well, are there any plans to do Jehnny Beth solo show in Mexico?
Yeah, I'm so like we've been talking about the management, the natives and stuff, and I'm like, since the Corona episode show went so well, I think we all want to be back. Pagues Mexico, soy Jehnny Beth. I hope you enjoyed this interview and listen to my music, of course.
At all.